Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn for Root for America. Bizarre. That's the only word to describe how in the bag NBC News is for Hillary Clinton. You'd almost think she owns them. You'd almost think she's blackmailing or bribing them. She must have photos of the head of the NBC News division and anchorman Lester Holt in bed with someone very shocking. It's that bad. It's so bad that NBC News should now stand for No Bad Clinton News. NBC, No Bad Clinton News. NBC must be getting something out of their arrangement to ignore every piece of negative news and scandal about Hillary, but take every sentence by Donald Trump out of context and then turn it into a major headline. Take this past Monday night. I got home after hosting 6 hours of talk radio, where I listed in detail all the scandals and shocking revelations involving Hillary and good old Obama, the man whose legacy she protects. Remember, Hillary herself says she's running for the third term of Obama. Now, I couldn't fit all of Hillary's shocking scandals and obscene problems into 6 hours of talk on 2 radio shows. But I predicted live on the air that NBC Evening News wouldn't mention any of it. I predicted they'd bury Donald Trump's amazing economic plan by first leading with some Trump statement taken out of context, then devoting only 30 seconds or so to his bold, creative, innovative economic plan, and then interviewing only one critic who'd tell us how bad it is. My prediction was 100% on the money. Let me list all the many shocking stories NBC News should be mentioning at least, if not turning into headlines. Instead, they won't even admit these news stories and scandals exist, or they downplay them to the point where they're not important. Hillary's hacked emails may have led to the discovery and execution of an Iranian scientist helping the United States. His name was prominently mentioned in Hillary's hacked emails, and that undoubtedly ended up in the hands of her enemies. Yet we hear not a word from NBC News. Hillary got the guy killed. Hillary's hacked emails may have led to the discovery and murder of Libyan ambassador Chris Stevens and those 3 American heroes at Benghazi. Hillary's hacked emails gave up his location, so she might have gotten them killed. It appears I'm not the only one to think so. Hillary's now being sued by the parents of the dead Benghazi heroes for this gross negligence, yet we don't hear a word from NBC News. Now, NBC did plenty of reporting about the one Muslim Gold Star father, but virtually zero coverage of the parents of dead Benghazi heroes. Donald had harsh words, but Hillary lied to the parents' faces with their children's caskets lying in front of her. Her actions may have led to their deaths. Still, NBC said nothing. Hillary's hacked emails show the Clinton Foundation is one big extortion racket involving pay for play. Those who donated to the infamous Clinton Foundation immediately got high-level access and contracts from Hillary's State Department. Folks, this is treason, yet we hear not a word from NBC News. Can you even imagine if Donald Trump served in a presidential cabinet himself? This is Donald now in a presidential cabinet, and he sold his access and government contracts in return for donations to his foundation, the Trump Foundation. It'd be the biggest news story in America, and the FBI would be leading him away in handcuffs right now. Hillary's hacked emails show the entire Democrat presidential primary was rigged by the DNC, so Bernie Sanders never had a chance to win. Amazing. Yet we hear not a word from NBC News. Dream with me for a minute. Can you imagine if we had proof Donald Trump rigged the GOP primary? The FBI would be leading him away in handcuffs right now. There are not 1, not 2, but 3 dead DNC officials in the past month. 3, all involved in the Hillary and DNC hacking leak. Even none other than WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange now admits one of the murdered officials was the source of the leaks. He was shot to death on the street in Washington, D.C. No watch, cash, or credit cards were taken. Yet NBC doesn't feel this warrants any investigation. Can you even imagine if 3 RNC officials wound up dead under suspicious circumstances after a leak of Trump emails? This would be the biggest news story in America, and the headline would be, "Is Trump a murderer?" Here's an incredible news story. Speaking of murderers, the father of the Muslim terrorist mass murderer who killed 49 gay Americans at Pulse nightclub in Orlando was snapped in photos in prominent seating position behind Hillary at an Orlando rally. Hillary's people seated a mass murderer's father right in back of Hillary's speech for all the world to proudly see. Can you imagine if Trump proudly seated Dylan Roof's father behind him at a Trump rally? Roof is a white supremacist mass murderer who killed 9 innocent black Americans at a Charleston, South Carolina church. And if that happened, it'd be the biggest news story of the year. Again. Hillary was just endorsed by the Communist Party of America. Isn't that worthy news? What if Donald Trump was endorsed by the KKK? Wouldn't that become the top headline in NBC News? You're damn right it would, even if he had no say in the endorsement, even if he disavowed it. You think communists are better than white supremacists? Really? 94 million human beings were murdered in the 20th century by communist dictators. And for some reason, communists really admire Hillary. I think that's a hell of a story. Then there's the Muslim Gold Star father who won over America in his confrontation with Trump. I talked about him earlier. Did you know his law firm appears to be affiliated with the infamous Clinton Foundation? Or that he was on radio in Pakistan only last week attributing Trump's problems to the fact that Allah hates him? How come that never made it onto NBC News? When this guy Khizr Khan hit Trump hard, it was the top headline at NBC. When Khan shows his true agenda and sings the praises of Allah, which would turn off the entire middle class of America, the same NBC News division decides it's not news. By the way, the media's forgotten that Obama's IRS targeted religious groups, Christian groups, pro-life groups, pro-Israel Jewish groups. The media said nothing as Obama used the IRS like the Gestapo, his personal hit squad against Christians and Jews. Can you imagine if a President Trump used the IRS as a hit squad to go after Muslim groups or NAACP or La Raza? Oh my gosh, it would be the biggest news story in America for months until Trump was hounded from office or impeached. How about the $400 million ransom payment Hillary's idol Obama paid to Iran to release the hostages? It was sent in an unmarked cargo plane with dollars exchanged for Swiss francs to evade U.S. laws and keep away from Congress's authority. That's a crime called money laundering. I didn't see it mentioned on NBC, nor did NBC think it important enough to ask Hillary for her opinion of it. We all know Obama and Kerry think climate change is the greatest threat to national security. So why didn't they simply wire the $400 million to Iran instead of wasting so much jet fuel and pouring so much pollution into the atmosphere? Because they needed to hide the transaction, because they knew they were breaking U.S. laws. Lastly, is Hillary healthy enough to be president? I've seen many photos and news stories about her concussions, brain seizures, videos with her head wobbling around like a rag doll, aides required to help her walk upstairs. If this was Trump with the same health issues, wouldn't NBC be reporting on it? Wouldn't they be demanding answers? Wouldn't they be hounding Trump's doctors to release his medical records? But none of these important, amazing, or shocking scandals and revelations are ever mentioned in any major way in NBC News. Instead, the lead stories are always about one sentence of Trump's taken out of context, or one spat between Trump and a Muslim father, or infighting between Trump and the GOP establishment, or Trump's comments on Hispanics or Muslims. Starting to see a pattern here? Yeah. NBC News now stands for No Bad Clinton News, and their entire news division is committed to destroying Donald Trump and electing Hillary Clinton at all costs. It is official. America is now a banana republic. I'm Wayne Allyn for Root for America. Have yourself a great day. God bless America. Bye-bye.